you will find that it is 2 over x, which is equals to 3 to the power of 5. So we can see now that the bases are the same and we can drop the exponents. So we can see that this is a fraction and we don't like fractions. So we multiply both sides by x, get that 2 is equals to 5x. And finally, we want to solve for x. We divide both sides by 5. We find that x is equals to 2 divided by 5. Are we happy, guys? Happy. On to the next question. It's about surds and exponents. So you need to know all your surd laws and all your exponents. You need to simplify this expression as far as possible. So you need to simplify this given expression as far as possible. Sorry guys, if you just joined the video, this is the question and it's based on exponents and surd laws, and you can pause the video to check out the question. And this is what we've been working on in this video and the previous video. You're going to have to solve this. As far as possible. So we can see that this in this brackets this is a difference of two squares. So how do we factorize a difference of two squares? It's p minus q and p plus q, because that's how you factorize a difference of two squares. This one you leave it as pq, right? You leave it as pq to the power 5 over 2 divided by, this can be changed to the square root of p plus, and actually minus, change to p minus q. And then using some surd laws, we can break this into two products of square roots multiplied by pq plus p plus q and the last term. This is all divided by p minus q. Both of these cancel out. They can cancel out. P, and then when they left, you left with p plus q, p plus q to the power 5 over 2. But we know that the square root is the same as a power of half. It's a power of half. And also we can notice that these two bases are the same, but they are raised to different powers. This is an exponent rule. This is the exponent product rule, where you have your bases are the same and they multiply. So what do? You add their powers. You're going to have to add these two powers, and when you add a half with 5 over 2, you get 6 over 2. And also 6 over 2 can be simplified further to being 6 divided by 2. You know that 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our final answer is P plus Q over 3. And that's it for this question. And now we continue on doing question 1 questions where it is composed of quadratic equations and also some simultaneous equations, and also you can see that you have to work with the rules of exponents and some third laws for question 1.1.3. So let's get on to this. This is your tutorial about grade 11 mathematics. This is the final grade 11 paper in mathematics. So in this video we're discussing question 1. So question 1 is about solving quadratic equations, and for the first equation we are given this equation where it's 2x squared plus x minus 12 is equals to 0. So what do we do? Step 1 is you factorize. Factorize this. What are the factors of 12 that when you subtract give you 1? It's 4 and 3. Right, so you write it 4 and 3. So you're going to have to put 4 here and a 3 here. Since one of them is negative, you know that the bigger one is positive and this one is negative. Clearly x is equals to negative 4 or x is equals to 3. Are we happy? Everyone with me? This is how you solve a quadratic equation. First you factorize it and then you get your answers. Moving on to the next question. Question 1.1.2. 2x plus 1 is equals to x minus 1. So how do you tackle a question like this? First you want to get rid of the square root. And how do you get rid of the square root? By squaring both sides. So you have to square this and square this so that the square root can run away. And then you're going to be left with 2x plus 1 is equals to this all squared is, use the binomial rule of expanding. So the first term, you square the first term and then you be like 2 times the first term times the second term. It's negative 2x. And then you square the last term. Right? Is everyone with me? Then obviously we want 0 in one side because this is clearly a quadratic equation. So you're left with x squared. It's this x squared minus 2x plus 1. This x jumps over to the other side. It's negative 2x. This one jumps over to the other side and you get negative 1. Right? You simplify this so that you get minus 4x, because minus 2, these are the like terms, then these two they cancel out. Minus 1 plus 1 they cancel out, it's equals to 0. So here you're going to have to take x out as common and you're left with that. So clearly here x is equals to 0 or x is equals to 4. Right? Is everyone with me? Right. Moving on to the next question. So here we are asked to solve this. It's an exponential equation because the x is in the power. So what do you do here? The first thing that you do, you see that, oh, the bases are the same. So if the bases are the same, we drop the exponents. So what now? It's x multiplied by, we know that the square root is the same as x to the power of half. It's equals to 27. Here, what is this? It's multiplication. This, you need to know all your laws of exponents, guys, because x and x need to multiply each other, and because the bases are the same, you need to add the exponents. So 1 plus half is 1.5, and we know that 1.5 is 3/2. It's equals to 27. This 27 must be broken down into its highest power, which is 3 cubed. So what do you do now? You want to solve for x, so you multiply by this reciprocal, which is, and use the same sign, which is 2/3. So you multiply by 2/3. So we find that x is equals to 3 squared, because these two cancel out and you're left with 2. Clearly x is equals to 9. And that's it. That's how you solve this question. Now, on to the next question. The next question asks us to solve an inequality. It's a quadratic inequality. As you can see, this is a quadratic inequality that needs to be solved. The first thing that you do here is you want to factorize it. And when you factorize it in such a way that it is a trinomial. So when you factorize it, you put an x here and an x there. You want factors of 8 that when you subtract, they give you 2. So we know it's 4 times 2. Since there's a minus here, you know that one of the terms is going to have a minus. And since the middle term tells us we should get negative here and positive here. So so our critical values are 4 and -2. You draw your critical values on a number line, -2 here and 4 here. Right, so this is your number line. This one goes from goes to negative infinity, and then this side goes to positive infinity. Right, so in this question we are asked to solve this inequality. So what do? You take a number, you try to take a number that is greater than 4. You can take 5, 6, 7, 8, or any number that is bigger than 4. In this case, I'm just going to use 5. So if you take 5 and you substitute it into this equation, it's going to be 5 minus 4 multiplied by 5 plus 2. that number is going to be positive since 5 minus 4 is positive and x plus 2 is also positive. A positive multiplied by a positive is a positive. You mirror it here and you mirror it here. You change the signs. So this inequality question is telling us that we must look where it's less than 0, which is in this interval, where it's negative, it's less than 0. So this means that x should be an element for all numbers that are between negative 2 and 4. Another notation that you can use is to say that x is between minus 2 and 4. And that is how you solve an inequality. When you are given a question of an inequality, this is how you're going to approach it. In the next video, we will be discussing how to solve simultaneous equations and how to use exponents laws and surd laws.